Hello again and welcome to chapter 81. You know the parents. I've recorded like 12 minutes and the SD card failed. It fucking failed. I'm so angry. Anyways, let's not think about it. So, chapter 81, You Know the Parents. It's a play on the movie Meet the Parents. Beloved movie. Who can forget Robert De Niro at his best. I know some people like it. I do like it a little bit. I don't find it very funny. Anyways, it's a play on that, but in this case, you already know the parents. My drink today is water that I've cut up some lime and just dropped in it in my water bottle. I don't know what you call these. And let me take a sip. It is actually quite refreshing. So yeah, you heard it right. It's just water and lime. No sugar in it, not even honey. The reason for that being, I do need to buy some flavored syrups or just some carbonated drinks. I'm too lazy to do that. So yeah, due to my laziness, I'm gonna drink something quite healthy. By healthy, I mean boring. It's not bad though, like as I said, I do like lime a lot. I do like everything sour a lot, so just it's here. Anyways, as I explained already, which you didn't hear, let me. Oh yeah, it is recording. As I kind of explained before, but I need to re-explain now because fuck technology sometimes. The week that I had somewhat of a theme. Not planned or anything, it just happened. So let's go through it and talk about it. Wow, that was a weird accent. Let's go through and talk about it. First, I watched The Northman. It's a great movie. I do recommend checking it out. And it has a very The Lion King-esque story. Like, very The Lion King-esque. There are scenes that I could think are a direct allusion to The Lion King. And so, there is that. And as you might have guessed, in a Lion King-esque movie, paternal figures are very important. Father figures. And well, in this case, it is too. Then Then I watched the day after. I watched Munich: The Edge of War. It's not relevant to the theme, but do watch it. Jeremy Irons doing a great job playing Neville Chamberlain, and George McKay. I kind of like him. I think he did a great job here, and the movie is good. The movie is better than I would have imagined. So then I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I'm not gonna spoil it here. Like all of the stuff that I watched right now are very new, but it has very important stuff about family. Like family is a big deal in it. If you watch the Red Letter Media, is it review? It's not a review. It's half in the bag, I guess, about Everything Everywhere All at Once. Um, yeah, it's a half in the bag. So if you watch that, they'll also touch upon that. Like family is very important in that movie. So far, two movies that sort of talk about parents and family. Then there is The Boys. I watched season 3. I don't watch The Boys weekly. I can't. Like I don't have a mental capacity for it. So I wait for it to, and then I take a day or two and binge all of it. It's easier for me that way. It's more mentally exhausting too, I suppose, because I don't have a week to accumulate myself. But I just can't wait for this one. There are shows that I watch weekly, and one of them I'll talk about. But yeah, The Boys season 3 was also had a great theme of parenthood, like the importance of it and what it means and what it does. So yeah, there is also that. And then one of the shows that I do watch weekly was no, like okay, let's before we go there, all of these were done products. Like the season 3 of The Boys had ended, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Northman were all finished products. The fact that I watched them all in this week was coincidental. Then the coincidence goes deeper because one of the shows that I do watch weekly is Only Murders in the Building. Great show, by the way. Got a bunch of Emmy nominations. I'm very happy. I'm kind of sad Selena Gomez didn't get one. Not a big fan of her in general, but she's so good in this show. Like, she's amazing in this show. And Steve Martin got one, Martin Short got one. I think everyone should have gotten one, including the woman who plays Bonnie. Anyways, when this season's over, I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna do a whole. Where is my pen? Ah, here it is. I'm gonna write it down. When Only Murders in the Building finishes, I'm gonna do a whole podcast about it. Do a whole episode because I do want to talk about it. It's a great show. Anyways, but in that episode, episode 4, Parenthood was also very much a theme, like a central idea. And it's different. Like all of the things that I've talked about, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Northman, and The Boys, it's very much about the child's relationship with the parents. Here, it's the opposite. It's the parents' relationship with the child. I'll get to it a little bit later, but this is actually not the first time I'm talking about Parenthood. Like when this happened, I thought, I definitely need to talk about this theme in the last thoughts of a busy mind for this week. And this is not the first time I've talked about Parenthood. Actually, back in season 1, the second chapter, like chapter 1 is the beginning. The second chapter is about the parenting simulator game, a text-based game that I do enjoy. Like it was a great game, and it was one of the episodes that got a bit of prominence, I think. You know what? Should I put it in the description? I don't think so. If you want it, go and listen to this. The second chapter. You have a lot of scrolling to do, but you can find it. It was one of the first chapters that got a bit of prominence because the person who made the parenting simulator, back then I was on Twitter, I shared it on Twitter, and he retweeted it. So, it was one of the first episodes that actually got the attention of the person who was making it. And before we start, I don't talk about my personal life a lot. Well, that's not true. I don't talk about my personal life. I don't talk about my family life a lot. Like I talked about the parenting simulator. I think I talked about my parents a little bit there. There is the chapter 14, I think, The Baker and the Doctor, which is about my grandparents. But, I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to do it again. I don't do it usually because paranoia, but, no, not a lot of people listen to this. So I feel okay about talking about these. My parents are divorced. They divorced when I was 5, and I think, like, when I look back at it, a lot of the problems we've talked about on this very platform multiple times comes from that. For example, I don't think I need to tell you about my aversion to loneliness. With one of my earlier relationship, last year, 2021, it started with Celine, was all about that aversion to loneliness. And that has a direct correlation with my father. Because when I was like 5 years old, they divorced and I was living with my father. And I was too old to have a babysitter or have someone with me in the house. So I would go to school, come back home, and be home alone until my dad gets back from work, which would be very late at night. Most of the time I was even asleep. So that's why I hate loneliness. I've been alone for a long, long time. Um, so yeah, I, I think it is still a sore point for me. Like I feel a little bit bad about it. So there is that, and then my maternal family is one of those with a lot of emphasis on what will other people think. Well, you shouldn't stray away from the societal norm because what will other people say if you do? And because of that, I got a lot of snide comments and a lot of um, basically insecurities about the way I look, about the way I dress, and the way I behave, the way I am, basically. Which is, I mean, God bless them. I know they don't do it out of actual malice, but that's the thing. Um, my nails got too long. Oh, you should clip your nails. What would other people say? Oh, you're fat. You should get thinner. What will other people say? You shouldn't dress like this. What will other people say? And if you've seen me, and there is a good chance you have if you listen to this, you know I don't look very conventional. In many cases, like I do have very long hair. My beard is kind of messy. At the same time, I do look like a neckbeard. I don't think I look very conventional for an Iranian guy. Like I don't exude a lot of masculinity, which I should talk about someday. Like as I said, they didn't do it with actual malice. It's partially, like mostly, the result of societal norms that just sort of say, "Oh, this is how a man should look like," and I didn't look like that. I had long nails, but that's it. They're my parents. A lot of my insecurities is there, like my constant drive for attention, and the fact that I get very sad when even this show, like I know not a lot of people listen to this. I've come to grips with that, but like back in the season 2, there were a lot of episodes, and season 3, that I said, oh, I don't think I'm gonna continue this. Like I even don't know now, but that was because it didn't got any attention. And the reason I have that drive for attention is because my life has been a constant battle between my mom's family and my dad's work, getting attention from them from their respective things. And that's when I said, like, the only mothers in the building comes into play, because I know it's a symbiotic relationship. Like, despite the fact that they are the reason that I am like what I am, like I have all of these problems, I can talk to people without having a mental breakdown, and I have spent a lot of my life alone in pursuit of anyone who would like me back, is because of them. But I do love them. I do care about them, and I know they made a lot of sacrifices for me. Like, I do know they love me. And I do appreciate it. Like, that felt very mean. I do, I do know it, and it makes my heart flutter, knowing that, oh, there are people who do actually like me like that. But they are also the reason why I'm so fucked up. Like, there's a direct thing between these two. It doesn't matter though, does it? So, fuck, I made myself feel sad again. God damn it. So, about that parenting simulator thing, by the way, I talked about it there. I do have this weird obsession with parenting. Like, I do want kids, and part of it, which is, I guess, very fucked up. Like, if psychiatrists would love to hear this stuff, and don't tell me to go to one, I can't afford it right now, is that I think if I had a child, I could do much better than my parents. And it's a naive thought at best, because no, I can't. I think I can do different than my parents, but there is no way that I can't fuck up my child. At some point, I will. I will instill my insecurities in them instead of my parents' insecurities. And a lot of people say parenting is like a selfless thing. It's not. It's a selfish thing. I don't know who made the joke. I think it was Jack Whitehall. That, oh, parenting is literally you saying, oh, I'm so great, here's the sequel. I might be wrong on who is the person who said that joke. But yeah, there are cars outside. I think I've made myself really sad. If you listen to this and you know me, come talk to me. God damn it. So yeah, there is the... I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Because the fact is, because this isn't a scripted show, like I have to talk constantly for 20 minutes, and at the same time I need to censor myself so I don't give too much information. But yeah, my parents, I do know there are a lot of selfless things involved in it. Again, I do know the sacrifices that my parents made for me, but at the same time, I can't get away from them, can I? You can't get away from your parents. That's the thing about all of these properties that I talked about. Like, you can see in all of them how much it's important. Like, in the boys, you can see the lack of a father figure has done to what it has done to the Homelander. The same for the Northman, like the savagery between what the father wants and what the kid wants. Like it's a battle. As much as we want to be independent, and I do want to be independent, I don't think I can ever get rid of my parents in my everyday life. Like, they shaped me. I don't like the thing that they shaped me into, but they've done it. It takes a lot of time to undo the damage they did. And I'm like very much at the beginning of that journey. I feel like I've improved. Like, go back to chapter 1, that parenting simulator episode, and listen to that and tell me if I haven't improved. I think I have. The fact that I can talk to people right now without having a mental breakdown is one of that. It's part of that. I still can't tell people what I want. Like, I can't tell the people that I like them, or how much they mean to me. Because honestly, despite their best, my parents haven't done it to me. Like, they do it a lot now, but, now I know. I needed to hear it when I was a kid, instead of you fighting all the time. I don't know. I feel like a brat when I say stuff like that, but they did fuck me up. I do have the right to say all of this. And with that, I guess we are nearing our last minute. I talked about parenting and my parents. Great. So, don't forget to send me a message on Anchor. You can send a voice message. Apparently, as I opened it in the description, in the settings, it will be linked. It will be linked in the description. Otherwise, you can find it very easily on Anchor and send me a voice message. Your voice message will be played at the beginning of the next episode, and you might shape a whole episode around that. If sending a voice is too much to you, and again, you need to have an Anchor account for that, so I do understand it, you can talk to me in other ways. You can, if you're listening to this on YouTube, you can put a comment, you can like, you can subscribe. If you listen to this on Castbox, you can put a comment there. I do listen to it there. I do read it there, like I turned on the notification on my Castbox account. And I'll see you all, I guess, next week.